Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel with a new video about World of Tanks. Today I have for you the second half of our clan war against the WAGH clan. It is another French clan because we are participating in a French tournament. During the first half, we won each 2 matches, so it's still a tie. And now for our 5th game out of 8, we are playing on Himmelsdorf, which is, well, an urban map. This is why we have a majority of heavy tanks. And we have one less than them. They have 5 heavy tanks, 1 medium, 2 tank destroyers. We have a pretty similar composition with 1 less heavy and 1 more medium tank. That's because we wanted to have an advantage on the castle, because you know it would be too slow and inefficient to go with heavy tanks on the hill, so we expected them to come uh, mostly in the banana road, which is the one I am currently sitting at, so I'm doing some side scraping and waiting for them to appear. We have our batchat in C2, C3 just to spot near the station, and we have a medium and a fast heavy tank on the castle because we thought we could have the advantage, or if we don't, like if they are rushing while pushing through there, we could easily retreat because those are quite fast tanks. As you can see, they are not playing with full gold. He was shooting an AP at my tank and it bounced. Since I am hiding the majority of my hull, so this position is pretty strong actually. For now we have spotted only 3 opponents, so we still have to wait. Well, no, 4 opponents. 1 tank destroyer was spotted in J2, so we are still waiting for some information because we don't want to push in one side and realize later that it was a very stupid idea, so we are being a little bit more careful than previously, like on Malinovka when we pushed too aggressively too early. And the enemy heavy tank, which was spotted in J0, so near the castle, just retreated. So we were pretty sure that they were not going for it, they just wanted to spot us. Since we have spotted most of their tanks already in the town, we were pretty sure that it was not a trap and that they would make a delayed push on the castle. So we decided to take a position in H0 because from here we can have an angle. It requires to have a good gun depression, but from G0, H0 you can have some nice angles on the street in the G line. So far, no team tried to push aggressively on either side of the map. We are still pretty much in our respective territories. I was shooting some gold ammunition and at this IS-4 I aimed for the upper plate. I thought the very high penetration would be sufficient, let's say, but well, it was certainly not. I am not used to fire premium ammunition, so I don't know exactly what to do, well, how to use them properly. I only know that it is hit ammunition on my IS-7, which means that I can't shoot at trucks or spaced armor, which means that I can't shoot at this IS-4 side because it would simply detonate directly on the module or the spaced armor and deal no damage. I am not being extremely useful here, so I decided to come around. It would be very stupid in a regular match, but since it's only 8 versus 8, the probability of someone trying to intercept me is pretty low. They are already busy with my teammates. I try to get an angle on this unaware IS-7, but it's very difficult to get a clear shot, and now he's already pointing his turret towards me, so I rushed a shot and it missed. Some no damage, plus I gave away my position, which was not necessarily a smart move. I might have a chance on this E100 side of the turret. It penetrated, plus I got the rack, so this time it was worth it. Since the enemy team did not deploy on the majority of the map, we tried to force them to stay in their spawn, let's say. They did not want the castle, they did not want the train station, so we adapted to their deployment, mostly concentrated on 1/4 of the map, and what we wanted to do was to circle them, deprive them of any retreat possible, and the idea is to simply try to get them into crossfire. We had to take progressively some better and better positions. Mine was very unusual, but it distracted both E100s. I wanted to track him several times. I missed because I'm not so much of a great shot. Anyway, it forced them to abandon their initial positions, and now they are the only two survivors. So we have their base, so we could force them to go back in a hurry, but we wanted to kill them because we thought it was possible. The idea here is to buy some time for our medium tanks because they have a clear shot into their rear, so it would be an easy win. We had to sacrifice both tank destroyers, but this E100 now is trapped, so it's a victory. We are now taking the lead 3-2. It was also a huge accomplishment for us because Himmelsdorf is the favorite map of the WAGH clan. They always pick this map during clan wars, always, 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 and they are very used to it. And winning on their own map was very satisfactory, and it was very positive for our morale. Anyway, let's see if we can win twice in a row. This time we have a very different composition, mostly because we have 4 autoloaders, AMX50B and T57 heavies, plus a batchat, so this is 5 autoloaders. I am still in my IS-7, I am still going to do the same, but my team is going to react very differently to the enemy team actually, so you're going to watch out. As you can see, our batchat is going straight in the middle, just to try to spot very, very early. We have no one. Oh wait, 2 heavy tanks. So this is quite a good information for us. 2 heavy tanks going into the banana street, again just ahead of me. So we know that they want to lock this portion of the map. Plus, it is also quite useful if, for example, we were to come from the castle, just because they could back out very quickly. They would be quite close to the threat. So we were not really surprised to see them here at that point of the game, and this is exactly what we wanted. As you can see, we have 3 tanks, 2 heavies plus a medium in D3, B3. We are already threatening their base. Also, we are not sending anyone on the castle. We didn't know yet if they wanted to go there or not, but as you can see, we have spotted the majority of the map, so it would not be surprising to have a few enemies over there. But for now, our priority is to distract those E100, and if we can deal some damage, that would be a nice bonus, let's say. So yeah, not a surprise, a heavy tank here, AMX50B. It's quite fast, it has a very interesting autoloader. We love this tank. But yeah, we were already expecting them. The idea is that if you have an advantage in mobility, even in a very dense urban map like Himmelsdorf, you can have a huge advantage, because if you spot early on some areas of the map, you know not only where they are, but also you can guess where they are not. And in this case, we knew that they sent a couple of tanks, maybe more, on the castle. This is why we did not push with all of our tanks in the banana street, and this is why we knew that if we could lock down, even for a minute or two, the 4 heavy tanks in D7, D8, we could have again the map advantage. Anyway, my gold ammunition is loaded. I actually did not need that one because he was exposing his front wheel. And now the MX-50B certainly does not require any gold ammunition. He got completely obliterated by our team just because we had some autoloaders ready for them. Of course, we will have to pay the price for it at some point because reloading during a clan war is extremely risky, but well, you know, you don't have the choice when your clip is empty. Anyway, I missed my shot. Again, I am not used to using premium ammunition, so I don't know yet if it can penetrate or not. I went this time again for the front wheel because, you know, it's damage plus immobilization, so this is my favorite kind of shot. We lost another tank, so it's still pretty even in terms of score, but it is not necessarily true in terms of HP. Well, our heavy tank here just took a massive beating. It's unfortunate, but the remaining tanks in our team are in decent health. at least better than them, and our autoloaders will be ready when we will be in position. So I believe that we still have an edge, and if we don't screw up, we could win this one again. It is not a guaranteed victory, we will have to coordinate, but it is entirely possible. They knew we would be coming from this street, it was certainly not a surprise. This T-57 Heavy is unloading his gold ammunition clip at me. I ate 3 of his shells, but it's alright, I had the health to sustain it, unlike my teammate in the T-57 Heavy as well. So we are now getting the lead as well on kills, and the E100 who's coming at us is he's a one-shot kill. My teammate missed, I did not this time. And now it's 4 versus 1, there's no way we can lose this. And we were particularly delighted with the results. Not only we won twice in a row on their favorite map, but also 4 victories for us at this point mean that we can't lose this war, at least we will tie them. So I am not progressing too fast, I am just waiting at this corner, I am waiting for my teammates. And now that we have located the last remaining opponents, well, it is time to go with our 4 tanks at once. Obviously here from the enemy location he cannot reset the base, at least not without exposing himself. But we decided still to try to finish him off, because with 4 tanks, even if we are going to hit 1 or 2 of his shells, we will have the possibility to finish him off, and this is what we like to do. And even if he's very well armored, at this range we will have a clear shot on his weak spots, such as the upper, whatever it is, upper bar, I don't know how it is called, but well, it went in, and this is a victory. And now we are going to play on our second pick, and we decided to play on Fjord because it is a recent map, and we wanted to try it out. We had a plan obviously, but we weren't sure if it would work or not. It was the occasion to try, and it was also the occasion to surprise our opponents, because they might not have had the time to train efficiently on this new map. The spawning location here a bit strange. We asked our tank destroyer to move back and allow our heavy tanks to go first on the bridge. Just because they were not in a hurry, they were just ordered to defend the base. This map is actually pretty interesting for clan war, because there are so many routes and so many possibilities for close and long range engagements that it is quite hard to anticipate the enemy movements. So we have a bad shot meant to go in the central part of the map, and we actually spotted the enemy bad shot at the same moment, so we had the same idea. And the rest of our tanks are going north. We decided to ignore entirely the bottom half of the map. We thought it could be a surprise to be quite grouped in one portion of the map, and to try to catch enemies that would be outnumbered. That was the idea. Also, with 2 tank destroyers, our base is pretty safe, at least from an early rush. We would not be so vulnerable just because 2 tank destroyers plus me plus a bad shot quite close to it. Unless they go with 8 tanks, we would be safe. Now our team is mostly in position. We have the choice to either stay here in A6, B7 to try to catch them into a nice crossfire, or to push towards columns 9 and 0 directly towards their base, even if we kind of anticipated a few enemy tanks there just to protect their base. I went around the rock to be surprised by this unspotted IS-4, and then I got greedy against the bad shot, who punished me even further, so I lost a lot of health. And well, now I have no target. They are being targeted by my teammates, so I am reloading. So no damage, lost more than half of my health. This is certainly not a good round for me, well, at least not a good start. Since we wanted to put as much pressure as we could on those enemy tanks, we sent only 1 heavy tank towards the 0 line, and he's proceeding very cautiously, because he's expecting at least 1 tank destroyer guarding the base, probably 2. The beginning of this match was pretty slow actually. It is starting to develop only now. 1 more heavy tank has been spotted. I am currently being greedy. I thought I could shoot at this angled part of the IS-4 with a hit ammunition. It was again not enough. to penetrate. I think I have been quite unlucky actually with the RNG, with the dispersion of my rounds. Anyway, I have been severely punished for it, and I am already out of the game. This match is now highly disputed. We have the lead in number of kills, 2-1. Well, not anymore, 2-2. But the most important is we have two enemy heavy tanks in our flanks, and this is highly dangerous. Close quarter combats can be devastating for our HP pool, and one of our heavy tanks just got destroyed. We absolutely need the help of our tank destroyers, but they are rather slow. It's a Waffenträger E100 and an FPB 183, two insanely powerful guns, but mounted on slow and vulnerable hulls. So by the time they get there, well, they still don't have any targets, and we are in a very, very delicate situation. Our IS-7 is completely surrounded and outgunned. He just got destroyed, and now it is 3 versus 5. We still have some quite healthy tanks, but they have the control of the central part of the map, so they could go north and threaten our base, try to circle our tank destroyers. Well, it is extremely tricky because one of them has a very long reloading time and the other one is an autoloader, so it can punish one or two tanks at once. However, if it fails, or if they have more health, 1 minute, sorry, of reloading time during a clan war, it's like an eternity. Our FVB 183 acted as a bait, and one enemy heavy tank charged right into our Waffenträger E100 and he got killed for that. Now we are trying to deal as much damage as we could, but it is difficult because they have very good frontal armor, plus they were using the side scraping tactic. It's very useful. And now it is developing into a psychological war, just because they were likely to count our shots, which means that they know that our Waffenträger is either reloading or have only one or two left. And since our FVB 183 has a very long reload, they could try to rush him. Well, at least they know that if they catch us reloading, they could kill us easily and they could win this round. So we were forcing them to take risks. This was our only option. Our Waffenträger here is doing the very old and classical trick. He's pretending to try to get a shot, but he's in fact reloading. He's just getting some time, because our heavy tank is in the opposite side of the map and he couldn't come through the base, because first it would give away his position, and second, that's where the two tank destroyers were looking at. So he didn't want it to be spotted and destroyed. He went completely around the mountain, which means that our Waffenträger is reloading, completely isolated, and he's hoping that the enemies will not rush him beforehand. So very, very difficult situation. I'm partially responsible for that because I died really, really early in the game, so I did nothing except for feeding the enemy. So it might have done differently if I were not so greedy. Well, it's done. So two of our tanks versus 3 enemies. Who can win this round? 2 enemies have been spotted trying to sneak around. They still have cover from where they are. You can't see it because it's behind a hill, but they have some cover and they do not have to expose themselves to our heavy tank, the 50B. But if for any reason we can have a shot in their front wheel, or well, in their tracks anyway, since we have 2 autoloaders, we could deal some insane damage. So they have a lot of life. But since we have 2 powerful autoloaders, it could go down at a crazy pace. So let's see how our allies will finish this round. T123 was not ready to face our Waffenträger. He's using his massive hit pool to absorb all the damage, to distract the tank destroyer from shooting our teammate in the 50B, because our 50B does not have much health left. And now it's 2 versus 2. Waffenträger is going for another reload, but our 50B really wanted to go around through the base, so going back to where he was previously. He thought that our Waffenträger would be safe during that duration, it's a very, very risky move, but at that point, it might pay. We were counting on the fact that the enemy heavy tank probably won't go where the tank destroyer was demolished, just because alone versus two autoloaders, he doesn't stand a chance. So he has two options: waiting for backup for his second tank destroyer to come to help, or to go around through the small lake in E4 and then through D4, D5 and so on to sneak around the Waffenträger. This is what I would personally do. In both cases it will take a long time, this is why the Waffenträger can afford to reload, but since he would be extremely vulnerable, our heavy tank driver decided to change his man and go through our base. And as you can see, the heavy tank was spotted there, so it is not a surprise. This is what most players would have done. It just gives us a hint about the enemy tank destroyer location. He was probably too far away, else they would have pushed together. Well, it's only assumptions. But anyway, our Waffenträger is now a one-shot kill with a destroyed, well not destroyed, but damaged gun, so he won't really have the possibility to aim properly. And our 50B is going where we asked him to go because we were anticipating the heavy tank to go through this small lake. And now he is in a perfect position to catch him off guard, probably from the rear. And well, let's see that in a few seconds. He's exactly where we wanted him to be. He stands no chance. So now it's 2 versus 1 and the situation has been reversed. We were losing 5-3 and now we're winning 7-6. So yeah, very, very intense battle. Our 50B is going south just because we don't know yet where the enemy tank destroyer, well until now, and our Waffenträger is in deep trouble and he just got finished off. The good news is the enemy tank destroyer is on so low health that with an entire clip ready, our 50B will certainly not have to rely on any RNG to finish him off. As long as, well, he doesn't bounce 4 times in a row, but you know, with a clip of gold ammunition, this should not prove too difficult. However, since the 50B was spotted recently, the enemy knows where he's coming from, and he will expect him probably with a very solid defensive position, maybe behind a wreck, a rock, whatever. So this is not going to be easy as pie, but you know, shooting at a weak spot with gold ammunition, it should do the trick. And he kind of disappeared, we don't know where, and there's a lot of hiding spots. He could be behind a rock on the left, he could have went back defending his base. There's a lot of options. But the most logical choice would be going south, because this is where our 50B was headed when he was last spotted, and this is exactly where we found the last opponent. And it means that we have won 5 matches, so we have won this clan war. At that point we were pretty relieved, yet we still have one last round to fight on this map, and it was so difficult that it's not going to be a breeze. We don't know what will happen on the last match. We just know that we won this clan war, we were very, very happy and a bit relieved. It was the most difficult clan war we ever had to do. The WAGH clan is it's very talented, very good. They react well to all kind of situations, so it was a real challenge for us. We again switched our configuration, and now I am playing again with my IS-7. I really love playing this tank during clan wars because it has such a strong armor that it will allow you some flexibility. I mean, you will be able to make one mistake and survive it, unlike in my previous match with my T-57 Heavy. I got obliterated in seconds, and you know, I was not playing it like I would during a regular random game, but still I tend to be extremely aggressive with my tanks, and it pays in random games because I am counting on the fact that enemies will not be super reactive or aim for weak spots or use gold ammunition, but this is a standard in clan war, especially against very talented clans. So I got punished for it, I got killed very early. This time I am playing with my IS-7 and I'm really, really glad. I am trying to lock down this path because F3, F4 is kind of a classic, you know, on this map. But since I didn't spot anyone early and we had 3 or 4 enemy tanks in the northern part of the map, I decided to help our object 430, and we should buy enough time for our free tanks on the southern part of the map to go close to their base. Originally we did not want to go for a fast cap, but their base is wide open, so let's capitalize on all the assets we could have during this game. So free tanks in their base will force them to go back very fast, and we could take advantage of that. It will entirely depend to how they react to this threat. They are moving back, so we are taking advantage of it. We are trying to get some better positions in the central part of the map. I however don't know why our backshot, who was in A9, decided to go back through our base. I think he would have a lot of options. Maybe he was locked down previously, but by waiting, let's say 15 seconds, he could have been in a very nasty position. He could have surprised the opponents trying to retreat toward their base. But what's done is done. Now I have to face an FVB. But more importantly, our tanks had to leave the cap circle, and we are not so much in a strong position anymore. Now we can't go and help our two tanks close to their base, because we would have to sacrifice too much health, so we are trying to deal with those enemies first. Batchat is going to try to circle him. It will distract him, he's showing his flanks, he's now dead, but it's already too late. We would not have had the time to save our two teammates, and now it is 4 against 4. So we are close to their base. It's kind of an advantage, but we don't have necessarily a lot of health, and all of them are close to each other, so in a position to support each other. It's going to prove very difficult for us. The problem is, to attack from here we would have to cross a lot of open ground, so I am trying to close the distance in order to get some better shots at them, but it's highly risky. If anyone decides to shoot at me, I will not have any form of cover whatsoever, so it is too difficult, too dangerous for me. I bounced his side of the turret with my gold ammunition. It was quite unlucky there, and now we are down one tank. They are in a very good defensive position. In a hull down, it is incredibly hard for me to penetrate their tank. We have lost one and two more tanks, so our only remaining tank is the Batchat with extremely low health. He's trying to relocate, but he didn't pay really much attention to the terrain and he crashed himself. So what embarrassing end for this clan war. But still we won, so we were pretty happy. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider giving it a like and to subscribe to my channel. So thank you for watching and see you in my next video. Cheers!